All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here to close things out for this week, this Friday, April 21st. Allow me to get my screen sharing again inside our live trading room. You could hear me for now, thankfully. Great to have all of us back joining us, at least inside our live trading room. And all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. Hey, folks, I'll tell you what, heading into the end of this week, we're following Tesla coming off their earnings. Tesla making a pretty good recovery, at least for the time being, taking us into the afternoon. So should be good to go. Great to see John, Ron, Leda, Ravina. Perfect. All right. So with that said, hey, Tesla, right? Good old Tesla here. It's starting to push back up towards 166. I just had it up on the screen to begin. So, I'm not going to be as keen to follow this for right now, just given the price. But if you're going to look to buy calls on it heading into the close, day trade the options, or if you had it on the swing like Fausto had in mind, then put it on your list for that reason. But otherwise, there's definitely going to be better stocks to follow here heading into the afternoon. I know it's more of a lull heading into our trading room here, at least across this time before this meeting started. But we are doing well just before an MGRX. A couple of things that died off before, like the EYPT, the PRST trade was looking good just before. So we'll go through pretty much just then and see what else is out there. But we'll start right from the top. And MGRX still pulling back a bit right now. Lower highs failing to move back up closer towards 3. Hey, it ended up having such a good run from earlier this morning. And the thing about this stock that does keep my interest in this trade still is that it has, pretty little historical data to work with. New IPO back from March. So, you're saying that there's a chance, right? It's still holding over the VWAP, hasn't utterly tanked and broken lower yet. So for right now, I'll write this down on the side list for right now. Come back to it just at the end. I'll definitely come back to it here because still could be of note. All right, so what else we got here? ONTX, pop and drop last I saw. Yeah, pulled back down towards 110, 109, bouncing back up to the VWAP now, but I don't know. Same deal with here. Same deal on this as I just said before on the other one. I like the MGRX even more as of right now, but I'll put this on the side list here for right now. PRST, same deal. Just nothing I'm in love with to begin. So it's like I don't want to commit to any of these just yet, really. Let's see what else we got. Kind of just rip through, kind of cherry pick what looks the best, what looks at the highs, still holding near the highs. Obviously not this. This stock is actually easy to borrow on my TradeStation platform, so that does make it tradable in some regard. But otherwise, though, I lost interest in this trade after the initial pump. It had pulled back pretty quick, and kind of similar to like the AI trade from yesterday. Popped up in the morning, came back down, and the similarity there is just that it never ended up holding support, ended up completely pulling back further. So that was the end of the run there on the EYPT. Wish you could say the same thing on this, just more in pre-market and after the open, it had popped up higher. So nice move for Wish here. They ended up doing a buyback, I think it was, but otherwise, this stock also did a reverse split recently, maybe like a week or two ago, 10 days ago, I think, at that. So perhaps there could be more to come on this trade. That's not swing trading recommendation, folks. That is a day trade recommendation only, but that means just keep it on your radar tomorrow, going into next week on Monday. So if it pops up again up 5% pre-market, all right, hey, like remember, we did well on it back on Friday in the morning. So, perhaps it has legs to make a fraction of this run that it made here. That's kind of the line of thinking that you want to have. But aside from thinking that, now at this point, we're not going to put this on our afternoon. All right, TNYA, another big move up for this trade. Ended up pushing earlier from yesterday morning, if I'm not mistaken, even the day before, actually. So I forgot about that as well. But back from yesterday, Thursday, that is, we ended up doing pretty well on this trade. From what I recall yesterday on it, though, it had better liquidity yesterday than it does today. So it thinned out a little bit more. Perhaps just you could tell the volume totally evaporated, died off here prior to 12 o'clock. So yeah, when the stock kind of consolidates and less of it's like higher float or much more liquid altogether day to day, then it's going to kind of thin out a bit. So that's what happened there. Looks like all the big money left on this one for right now. Made a nice move this morning, but yeah, not doing it here. All right, what else we got? Veru, Veru. This one we do like. This one I'm actually just going to put on our main list out the gate. Stock that we are familiar with, stock that is very liquid on the way up. price regardless. If this was like a $20 stock, we did well on this back when it was, running up from the end of last year or from the early to midway of last year, about a year ago actually this time. So how about that? Time flies when you're making money, right? So just ended up having a big pop then off of, I think, COVID vaccine news, ended up pumping up, dumping back down within that channel, and made for a great day trade back then too. So this could be a nice little short squeeze to work off of. Viru here. I know Chuck's a big fan here of having me put this on our watch list. It's definitely been a good stock to him, good stock to a lot of us here all together inside our live trading room. MGOL, if I'm not mistaken, Argentinian stock. Could be wrong on that. I'm not going to hold myself to that, but CYH, nice little pop from the morning. It's holding near the high still. That part I actually appreciate. Liquid order book, good tier size. Just no direction on it of late, though. So it's like near the highs, but, that's all there is to it there. Pass. IBRX, this looks actually a little bit better. Trading a little bit more volume per minute. It is that much more liquid, though, in terms of the order book. You know what? Hey, I'll put this on our watch list for right now in hopes of a higher high. It's already made such a good run up across like most of this week, if not all of it. Really looking at the daily chart there, probably from the end of last week, even. So, you know what? When is it going to give out? Be careful of that if it's here around this 260 area. But otherwise, I'll pull up level 4 in just a moment. We'll see what else is out there in terms of, resistance ahead. We keep it moving. See what else we got here across the gainer side to wrap up. Had from earlier NBY pop and drop, bad pop and drop for that one. Rite Aid, RAD, familiar name. Not really trading a lot of volume per minute right now, only about 3,000 to 4,000 shares a minute. So I'm gonna pass on that one there. And that will probably wrap it up across the gainer side. So, hey, if you're Ravina or John, later, Ron, Chuck, or any of us here inside our chat board, if there's anything else looking good on the way up, type it in. Let me know. All right. So in the meantime, actually, I don't have my SPY chart up here on my 5-minute like I normally do. So what's happening here? What's happening with the S&P? The markets alike, very choppy, as has been the case across the whole day. Tried breaking out just before, but pulled back. And I know it's at a support level. I'd lined up actually like on a futures chart. I was working with a student on a coaching call. So still like in good territory, but you'd really want to see it blast higher heading into the close today for good continuation. That doesn't mean that we're going to get it. If it breaks lower from here, then it could be a much sharper drop off into the afternoon. It is at a critical level, I feel, right around this 412, looking at the SPY, however that may translate towards the S&P chart itself. But, needless to be said, though, we'll see if there's anything looking good on the loser side right now. You got a lot down big. Like, what the heck is this? UCAR down 81%. New IPO, that's why. Reminds me of the WLGS, right? Look at that. It's actually only down 0.97% today, but that's basing it off of yesterday's close. Look at all of the pre-market activity this stock had early. So this was a total dump. Led to a tiny squeeze at first, but yeah, nothing else to it after. SPHR, not to be confused with SPWR. SPHR, though, here, not doing too much. It looks like it's just flat. Very thin order book, very scarce and illiquid. So move on from this one. Let me ask us here really quickly inside our chat board. No competition here, no numbers. Just asking, anyone here end up hitting their like weekly goal? Anyone end up like hitting their days pay more days of the week than not? If so, type it in the chat board here if you could. Got a lighter crowd on a Friday anyway, not always a full house on a Friday afternoon. But the reason I ask that is because, well, why would we want to give it all back? And if not it all back, then why would we want to give any of it back in some silly trade on some like crazy 50-cent spread stock? No need. Absolutely not, folks, right? So if you're Carla, if you're Jeff, if you're Lewis, or anyone else perhaps, hey, if you're in the plus this week, I know there's a lot more of us that are at minimum in the plus. So you don't want to give it all back or give any of it back on some dumb trades. So yeah, that's where we move forward from trades like this SPHR. SQM, wow, what a downtrend this thing is. For the price, this thing is on a tear. Good order book for the price too. It's not on a crazy big spread. So in terms of like one over the other, I'd actually much rather prefer this. If you want to give it a go on this one, though, I'd still say trade small share size, given the price, given how thin the book could be here at times. But you know what? Actually, I like this one for right now. Looks like right around 60-ish, 59-ish. If I go back to like 21, oh, that's a nice triple top there, or just top in general. 48.60. Oh, wait, no, 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 no. Hold up, hold up, hold up. That wasn't it. 59.10, 59.34, 59.07. So I'll lower that a smidge, say like right or a little over 59 right there. That is a definitive top. From there, over time, that could become a nice bottom to work off of here. I don't know the news that came out on this trade that led it to be down over 21% today. So, if it's not going to hold support today as far as like a short dead cap bounce, that 59-ish, then perhaps over time, wait to see support build across the daily, weekly, monthly. But for right now, just as far as a day trade, good short to work with up until that 59-ish, the SQM. All right, got O Cup trying to dead cat bounce right now, making a nice little move off of like 465 here. But, at this point right now, similar to what I just said before, not a great need to put a stock like that on our watch list. It already made a dead cat bounce. You'd want to follow a stock that's at the highs if it's up, or at the lows if it's down. And hey, look at what we got here, Michael. Michael's going to be a fan of this one right now. Big lots. I'm going to put this on our watch list too. You have 4 stocks here in total. You got Viru, you got the IBRX from the gainers list both, then Big and SQM. So this actually looks pretty interesting as a short. Ended up holding 850 as resistance just a moment ago, and it seems to be under still some big volume off of 844 even. So really, if it could just remain under 844, I think there's still good validation to see a short lower. All right, so I don't know how much else we got out there, folks. If there's anything up, down, left, right, looking good, certainly not looking bad, type it in the chat board here. We'll look at Benzinga here pretty quick just before we finish. Don't really see too much from there, and that's fine. I mean, hey, it's a Friday afternoon heading into like the spring, right? And weather's warming up all around. I moved to Florida last year for those unfamiliar. So I lived in New York all my life. So I've been hearing from family and friends it's like 82 degrees up in New York right now. It's like, all right, well, hey, everyone's outside with family and playing around with their kids. So I'd say right now not a whole lot happening within this market here. Wish trying to, I don't know what you call this, trying to bounce back up, I reckon, but there's not much more to it than what you're looking at. I feel like a head fake's incoming. ATRA trying to make a small move back up right now. It's up like 6 to 7%. It's got good liquidity on the order book. So I'll tell you what, we don't have a big watch list here in hopes of this revving up higher and this becoming a much better trade here going into the close. If it could hold over 3,301 here, you have a good trade here. But we'll see if it can make that pop. All right. No, I can tell you once you start getting to these types of charts here, you're getting to the bottom of the barrel. So I think that's all we got here for right now, folks. Last one, maybe here looking at HIMS, HIMS. Ron says 66 and sunny currently. Well, I think that we'll take 66 and sunny. Maybe not 82 today, but still pretty nice up in East Northport. But with that, HIMS making a nice push up right now. You know what? It doesn't have a bad order book. If it did, I wouldn't put it on our list. It does, so I will put it on our list. So how about that? Hopes of a higher high. This is actually looking really strong as like a weekly chart as well. So what is the high from the beginning of this year? 1204. Got the daily chart here coming up. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, little activity around these areas here. So looks like 1127 the close. It held really well over that just there. Wow. Okay, so good. Now your next level seems to be roughly around 1150, 1153. It's trying to shake off of it right now. After that, really, I'd say 12. So pretty good, interesting move here on this HIM stock. So long as it could hold over 1150, retain higher lows as it's been doing. Sam saying MGRX fell off a cliff. Yeah, it did. All right. So getting back to our proverbial side list now. We're going to take off of our side list. We're going to scrap it off any list. ONTX, I don't really want to get stuck watching this right now, so I'm going to pass there. Lewis saying lift testing the high of the day, not LIFT. He threw me off there. LYFT, how about that? Up over 6.5%. Yeah, really funky chart right now. Popped at 12 o'clock, pulled back. Normally, you'd expect that to be the end of the move altogether for like just typical end of the week consolidation for it to flatten out after that drop, even after the pop. I'll tell you what, Lewis, I'm completely ignorant to the news. Let's all look at the news. What do we got here? Have no idea. So, lift to cut at least 1,200 jobs, not 12,000, 1,200 jobs. Now, pretty interesting because we've seen this so often before. I mean, hey, we saw it on Peloton, we saw it on Google and Amazon, all these different companies. But, for like Peloton especially, we saw it. And now Lyft, definitely we're getting to see it. When a major company does layoffs, they're relieving themselves of a huge expense. So that might sound bad. I was like, oh man, hey, it might be your family member that got laid off. It's unfortunate news for anyone that was a member of the company. But as far as like you and myself making money on this stock, well, that's a pretty interesting move so far. Made a nice pop and pull back, but man, really strong recovery. To which, again, even this recovery after the initial run, I wouldn't have expected as much. So, pretty good run right now. I'll put this on our watch list. Really interesting call from Lewis. Lewis says New Yorkers lift in Florida. Yeah. Well, it's also my dyslexia tripping me up there, too. So, I'll tell you what, definitely a good call from Lewis. And I think that'll just about do it, folks. Hey, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, Facebook Live, Facebook, etc., the works, as I like to say, enjoy your weekend. Hey, if you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room, just feel free to join us coming up this Monday for this entire week. Go right down to the link on the green banner below right there on the bottom of the stream right there. Otherwise, any questions before joining us, feel free to shoot me a quick email. Josh@ctutrading.com is the handle. That's the email. And there we go. It's on the screen now. All right. So, folks, again, let me know if there's any questions or emails you'd like to shoot over. I'll have more than enough time on Sunday at least to get back to you. But otherwise, enjoy the weekend, like I had said, and we'll catch back to you on Monday. For all of us inside the live trading room, you'll have Rich coming on the mic at least from 3 o'clock onwards. So if I don't catch you here going into the closing bell, folks, enjoy your weekend yourselves. For Bill, Lewis, Sam, Leda, Michael, and John, and special shout out to our friend Grant. Missing you, bud. All right. We'll talk to everybody soon. Take care.